Everyone's asking, what do we do now? I asked AI what the founding fathers would do. Here's what it said.
If the founding fathers were dropped into 2026, with the top 1% hoarding 32% of the wealth, billionaires and mega donors flooding politics with billions in super PAC money, wages barely budging while costs crush people, debt chaining generations in a system that feels like it's rigged to extract from the many for the few. They'd recognize it instantly as the nightmare they tried to prevent, an artificial aristocracy of wealth, turning the republic into a hollow shell of oligarchy and corruption. They wouldn't sit idle or shrug it off based on their own words, actions during the revolution, and what historians pull from their debates. Letters, here's what they'd likely do in response, straight from their principles and historical patterns. Sound the alarm loudly and educate the public, illuminate minds first. Jefferson hammered this repeatedly. The time to guard against corruption and tyranny is before they shall have gotten hold of us. It is better to keep the wolf out of the fold than to trust to drawing his teeth and talons after he shall have entered. They start by waking people up, writing pamphlets like Paine's Common Sense, giving speeches or using whatever mass communication exists today. That BX pop key is town halls to expose the money to aristocracy, buying government and perverting it into elective despotism. Samuel Adams warned tyrants keep people in ignorance and vice, because knowledge and human virtue overthrow the tyrant. They push massive education on rights, history, and economics to rebuild a virtuous, informed citizenry that resists oppression, organized mass resistance and non-cooperation, economic leverage without immediate violence. They rebelled against Britain through boycotts, non-importation agreements, strikes on trade, and refusing to pay unjust taxes, fees. They likely call for widespread coordinated economic pressure, boycotts of corporations tied to political capture, mass labor action, strikes or slowdowns to hit profits, or consumer refusal to feed the beast that funds the extraction. Jefferson and others feared corruption, seize the heads of government and be spread by them through the body of the people when they will purchase the voices of the people. They target the money flow, exposing shame donors, push for voluntary withholding of support, like symbolic tax resistance but scaled, and build parallel structures, community networks, mutual aid to reduce dependence on the captured system, push radical reforms to break the concentration, redistribute power and property. Many founders advocated measures to prevent extreme wealth debt. Regressive taxes on estates, inheritance, Jefferson talked about them. Payne proposed the 10% estate tax for pensions and young adult payments, limits on land, hoarding some Pennsylvania delegates, possibly Franklin proposed seizing excessive property is a danger to mankind. Broad land ownership, Madison and others tied liberty to outright dirty distribution, so no tiny elite could dominate in 2026 terms. They demand constitutional amendments or laws for wealth taxes, campaign finance overhauls, overturn citizens united style rulings, breaking up monopolies, corporate power and policy, spreading capital ownership, broad employee stock, profit sharing is some modern analysts interpret their citizen capitalist ideal. John Adams feared an aristocracy of a money corporation, challenging government itself. He crushed that in its birth through regulation, the charters limiting corporate political sway. If all else fails, prepare for revolution as a last resort. Refresh the tree of liberty, Jefferson's infamous line. The tree of liberty must be refreshed from time to time with the blood of patriots and tyrants. They didn't glorify violence, but saw it as a duty when peaceful remedies were exhausted and tyranny was entrenched. Adams warned that if power slides to those uninterested in others' rights, the people either unite against the wealthy or become mercenary instruments of them. They'd organize militia, citizen defense groups, not for immediate attack, but to defend against oppression if the system turned fully despotic. But they'd exhaust every peaceful avenue first, petitions, assemblies, conventions, because they knew unchecked revolution often leads to worse tyranny. They rebelled once when taxation without representation and economic extraction felt like theft of liberty in your terms. Lives stolen through endless grind, debt, and elite capture. They'd see this as far worse, a slow motion version of the same tyranny they fought, now internal and dressed in democracy. They mobilize, educate, disrupt economically, reform structurally, and if cornered, fight to restore a republic where no artificial aristocracy of wealth rules. They tell us the wolf is already in the fold, time to drive it out before it devours everything.